Hey, it's Jess here with 757 Bandwire at Livewire with Empty Nester, or part of Empty Nester.
2/3.
2/3, that's right. We have
Daryl Templeton.
Michael Rapani.
Awesome. And what do you guys each do in the band?
I am the lead singer and ukulele player, I guess, yeah.
The ukulele player. I am the bassist.
And
Awesome.
also like the main music conductor, I guess.
We are.
Yeah.
We
so
are.
You are?
Everyone in
We
the
go
band
both.
kind of wears multiple hats.
Right.
Since
And
we don't
now
have a manager or
Jesse,
anything.
uh,
Yeah, that's
Jesse
what
is the
does.
drummer,
Jesse's
right?
the drummer.
Yeah.
Jesse Rothstein.
We had a guitarist, but
That didn't work out.
yeah. So
That's okay.
the cool thing is the music won't change, since it was mostly just Daryl and I in the first place.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we kind of redid a lot of the songs after he left to make it more bass centered. So
Cool.
that's good.
So, where did the name Empty Nester come from?
Well, when I started making music, my music was really sad sounding. Not all the stuff that's out now. It's obviously like after a few evolutions of my music. When I started, it was all really sad sounding, but with like positive lyrics. And when I heard empty nester as a term, I thought, yeah, it was interesting because it's a sad term when you think about it. Like, yeah, the kids have left. But
Right.
But when you think about it, it's actually like a positive note because you did your job. Birds are flying now. And
Right.
So yeah.
That's kinda
it's
cool.
Fit along with what I was making at the time.
Very cool.
Then we
And-
incorporated a play on words.
Yeah, and I made it a play on words. Everything in music that I like to make plays on words, but the band name was unintentional. I wanted the band name to be Empty, like E-M-P-T, you know how you spell empty.
Yeah.
And I tried to buy the website for it, but some dude in Florida owned it, and he wanted to sell it to me for like $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Screw that! I'm just gonna change it to the letters MT. And,
That's kind of cool how that happened.
that's
Very
that's where we're
cool.
at.
So, how long have you guys been playing together?
She's almost like
Almost half a year now.
No, we started in November. We met up with each other. In
Oh
November.
yeah, we did jam.
It was-
for almost a year, I guess, but we didn't actually start doing stuff.
Like, so it started out with me, Daryl, and our friend Sam, who actually brought us together.
Cool.
And
Props to Sam.
yeah, props to Sam. If you watch this, this is for you, Sam. Thank you. So it was just us three, and we kind of worked on songs that Daryl had already made. Daryl had an EP out by just him, and a few songs on there that we kind of took and made our own
Made
eventually.
full band.
Right.
Because they were more like solo songs when they started.
Very cool.
And we played in Daryl's old job warehouse. That's where we
That
practiced.
was a sweet jam spot.
That
though.
was. It was like a.
It was the
whole
acoustics
concrete
in there pretty
warehouse.
cool.
It was a lot of echo.
Yeah.
That's
It was really
cool.
And
yeah.
eventually, our guitarist Sam had eventually kind of. We lost communication with him for
Yeah.
reasons we don't want to talk about right now.
Not a problem.
I mean, we would always try, contacting him saying, "Hey, Sam, practice tonight. Come on over." Nothing. It was like that for about
It was
the
like
whole
three-
time.
It was like 3 or 4 weeks that we couldn't contact him at all. So I don't know if he was like dead or so what. And so during that time, I was homeless. Well, actually, I was homeless for about a month at the beginning of when we started hanging out.
Oh my god.
He stayed at my house a couple
I stayed
times,
at
so-
his house a couple times, and during the end, I finally was staying at my friend Taylor Helm's house, who was the second guitarist. So while I was staying at his house, I was like, well, we're short a guitarist, do you want to join us? That's how Taylor became a part of the band. And Jesse was brought in shortly after Taylor was.
The way Jesse got brought in, obviously I've known Jesse for like maybe 5 years now. But maybe about a year and a half ago, we got into an argument. I can't even remember what it was about. Anyway, we
You
didn't.
always get in arguments.
I know. we didn't.
What band doesn't get into
Yeah,
arguments?
but in
It
this
helps.
band, him and Jesse are like an old married couple.
But-
Like they just go off on each other.
He's not even here to defend
I know,
himself
no,
or
he knows.
Jesse.
He'll watch it and be like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they're
know."
just it's hilarious to watch. It really is.
Well, we had been looking for a drummer, and I was out hanging out with one of my friends, and Jesse called when I got back from hanging out with him, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Jesse, like, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while." And he's like, "Oh, good, just, you know, same old stuff. How you been?" I'm like, "I've been good." Jesse,
We need you.
you're a drummer. We need a drummer. I found a singer, amazing voice, and we've been through 2 bands. I've been through 2 bands with Jesse where our singer has not had a voice. I mean, we were in a...
And here we go again.
I mean, drone, terrible. But I mean, the music was there.
You might watch this. Careful.
But Crude Conduct, that was our high school band. We did punk, ska, hardcore. That was what we did.
That's interesting.
It actually was
It's even
amazing.
It's almost a weirder mix than what our music
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So
Not your music's not weird
we
though.
played.
No, it's not weird, but
We
it's a
played
weird
stuff
mix of
that you would,
genres.
you know, what is that term called? Where you bang into each other. Slam dance. You would slam dance. This kind of stuff. I mean, literally.
Banging, there's a lot of things that involve banging into each other, Michael.
So, me saying like, "Hey, I found a singer that can, you know, sing." He's like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And I was like, "Well, Jesse, we don't have a place to really play your drums. Can we perhaps practice at your house?" All of us went over to Jesse's house.
It was
We all set
gold.
up.
It was a magical experience. It really was.
That's awesome.
We killed one song in one day.
We played one song like one time rough, and then we just laid it out. It was smooth as butter on a bald monkey, and it was just fantastic. And after that first practice, we decided to be a band. It wasn't like let's think about it. It was like we're a band now.
This is it.
Friends
That's
forever.
awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So individually, not performance wise, but individually wise, who was the first person you saw in concert? At any age, first concert, no matter how embarrassing it was. Whoever it may have been that your parents may have dragged you to, or
Oh, okay, you go first.
So it actually was a concert that I got dragged into. I think I was 13, and it was my mom's birthday, and my dad got her tickets to go see Def Leppard and Journey.
So you
A
got
while
to
back. Do
go
you remember
to
that
an
concert?
Amazing concert.
No kidding,
It
yeah.
was one concert. The cool thing is that
It's much better. Than
Journey's singer is awful. Live.
The
live.
cool thing is-
live.
Wait, but which one was it? Because I've had so many.
The original singer.
Steve Perry?
Right. So he was sick apparently. So they had a backup singer, and everyone was just like, "This is great. He sounds great." And then obviously Def Leppard came on, and he was magical. I mean they played.
That's awesome.
They held back. I made it seem like Def Leppard was a person. They were amazing. They held Pour Some Sugar on Me for the last song.
Of course.
Which my mom was like, before that, she's like, "It's my birthday. They can't just end the concert without playing that." And then finally they came back on for the encore, and she's like, "Yeah." And that was it.
If
That's
you know his
awesome.
mom, it's a very, very easy mental picture.
As you've witnessed today.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was it. Journey and Def Leppard.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
that's epic.
Daryl?
For me, it was the Newsboys, that Australian Christian band.
I know who they are. Yeah.
Actually, weirdly enough, I was like somewhat related to them somehow. My mom's best friend's semi-good friend's daughter engaged or married to the manager's son. It was a really weird connection, but that being said, it was enough to get us front row tickets, backstage
Nice.
passes, and the cool
just
thing
got
is,
one.
we mailed them afterwards. They're like, "Thank you for these passes. You don't really know us except for a really roundabout way," and they mailed us autographed every single one of their CDs.
Oh,
T-shirts.
wow.
I have 4 siblings, so it was autographed CDs, T-shirts, 4 T-shirts, for pretty much everything that you could get at a swag table in a box, like a giant box of Newsboy stuff. They just
That's
sent us for
awesome.
free.
That's really cool.
And that was my first show.
I used to like them back in the day. I'll tell you what my first show was. It's kind of embarrassing. I was dragged to Huey Lewis in the News.
I love Huey Lewis in the News. I love Huey Lewis and the News.
That's they came out in these old cars
But they're
in the
great.
early '90s, right after a baseball game, a minor league baseball game.
They're the king of like rock and roll
From the
blues.
80s.
Come on,
Yeah.
they're.
Yeah,
I have a whole CD collection. I say collection. I've got 2 or 3. Anyway, one of them's the one with what's the song called? Some of your lies are true, or
yeah.
these lies are true. I can't remember.
It's all right.
Do you
They
know the
do
song
the
I'm talking
hip to
about?
be squared and I need a new drug and the song from Back to the Future and
You don't like Huey Lewis and the News?
no, I do. They're in my mix. It's just if I could pick, I'd rather have gone to the concerts you went
Hey,
to than
I didn't
As far as, like, a
that
first
one.
concert.
At first,
Right.
I didn't enjoy it until I realized who they were. And
Ah,
the only reason
what a shame.
it was only until Journey played
Don't Stop Believing.
Don't Stop Believing and Def
course.
Leppard played their last song.
Of course, that you were like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So at first I was like, who is this band? Their singer sounds like a girl. Come on. And then I'm like, oh, they're that band.
Nice.
So yeah.
What's your favorite local spot to play?
Oh, well, we had
That's
a
on
favorite
you.
local
well,
spot.
You say yours and I'll say mine, so I don't know.
Oh, the living room was tons of fun.
Yeah, that was a cool place.
I am so sad it shut down.
I
John,
know.
why? Oh, dude, that place was so much fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like the living room. It was chill. We don't have like arena-worthy music yet. I wouldn't say so.
Right.
We kind of had that local coffee shop music.
We kind of
vibe.
Yeah.
have but that's kind of our vibe.
It is
a
your vibe.
Small audience vibe.
Yeah,
So.
and that's cool.
Yeah.
So individually, who got each of you into music?
Okay. So at first it was my parents. They signed me up for these children music classes where we got a xylophone, this like bag full of music stuff, maybe like a recorder and stuff. And that was like when I was 5 or 6. And then after that, my parents signed me up for these piano lessons. And when I say that I took piano lessons, I played hide and go seek with my music teacher, my piano teacher. So he'd say, Michael, get on the chair, play the piano. I'm like, no, and I'll run around the house and avoid doing that. So that was piano lessons, and that failed.
It's a good use of your parents' money.
Right.
I'm sure.
Then when I was 10, for my birthday, my dad got me my first guitar. And from there,
Did you ask for it?
No,
Oh.
he gave it to me. It was a Fender Squier, the most basic
Oh,
package
yeah.
you get, the
Yeah.
$100 speaker package deal. And from there, he signed me up at Authentic Guitar in Newtown. I took lessons for like 3 months, and the second he brought up, all right, you know how to play now. Now we're gonna learn how to read music. I said, what? No. Got out of there. And when
So you can't read music?
well, that's where I'm getting at. So
Okay.
then I
Let him finish.
I actually started getting into playing bass riffs. I mean, I didn't realize I was, but I started playing on the lower end of the
guitar.
and started really playing bass riffs. Wasn't playing chords, and my friend was like, "Hey, you should think about, looking into playing a bass." And I said, "Okay." So I had some money, went out and bought a bass guitar, and started playing that. And I was watching YouTube videos of techniques, one of them slapping, the other tapping, and regular finger walking, and
Right.
picking stuff. And I eventually just decided, all right, I'm going to go out and try to teach myself how to read bass music, how to read bass clef.
Yeah.
And I did, and it's not as hard as you think. You just have to get your rhythm down, whether it be people that don't know about rhythm, like there's 4/4, which is that, or 3/4, which is the waltz beat, which is 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Right.
Or the main beat that we use as a reggae band is 2/4, which is it's
Right.
that incorporates the offbeat chord strokes that we use.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
I know it's weird, but once you get those and you realize how long a measure is in that sort of sense, you literally read where those notes are placed and all that other stuff. And then from there, I went into jazz band and on my senior year of high school, and I only did it for about 2 weeks because when I was doing it, there was a guitarist in my history class who said they were looking for a bassist. And I said, I'm a bassist, I'm doing jazz band actually. He's like, oh wow, you should come over to my drummer's house, his name's Jesse. That's where Jesse and I met, was this band, which was Crude Conduct. So I quit jazz band and joined this band, and then...
That's a good choice.
So really the person who got me into music was mostly my dad for getting my guitar.
My turn. Okay, let's see. My music experience goes back since I was born. My parents have been convinced that I was a very talented musician at heart, which was not true. I was in the strings group at my school. I played cello because that's what they needed. But I was the first and only person to ever be kicked off of that strings group in particular because I was so bad. I think my greatest musical accomplishment before the age of 18 is I knew how to play SpongeBob SquarePants theme on a recorder. The reason I really got into music was one Christmas, right around my 19th birthday. My little sister got my big brother a ukulele, my big brother got my little sister a ukulele, and my parents got my big brother a ukulele. So they had one extra ukulele that was just free floating because no one knew who got what. So they're like, hey, you have a ukulele. Here's a ukulele, it's extra. So they gave me a ukulele and I was like, oh, fantastic. And I figured at this point that I should probably start learning music because I wasn't having too much luck with the ladies and might as well give that a shot. I wasn't really as skilled anything else. So I learned to play Somewhere
So you got into music
Over
for
the
chicks?
Rainbow. Oh, of course, absolutely. Everyone does.
Everyone does. I mean, look at me. I got chicks all over me.
If you ever find yourself in a situation of this isn't working for me, most guys turn to music. So yeah, that's how I got started. But what really set it off for me is I was playing ukulele. I learned, Somewhere Over the Rainbow and like a few other songs, and all of them had rainbows in it. It's kind of weird. Like
now I'm getting questionable.
Rainbow Connection. That was another.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
so I learned those songs, and a friend of mine, David Heckman, found it, David. He was at school with me, and I heard him singing in the hall one time, and it was a song I'd never heard before. And I asked him what it was, and he's like, "Oh, I wrote it." And it never clicked in my mind that a normal person could write songs before. Like it was never even like an option for me. I was like, no, I don't want to try that. It's like impossible. Rich people do that. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to write a song. And as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
That's cool.
And the next week, I sold my Xbox 360 and everything I didn't need, and I bought music equipment. And ever since then, it has carried me through homelessness and a whole bunch of fun places. But yeah, music has been my life since then.
So who was it?
Who was what?
Who got you into music then?
Oh, my parents accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally.
Yeah, it was an accident.
That's pretty cool. So you guys currently, are you recording? Are you looking at recording? What are you doing?
So here's the cool thing. Last night.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with a person that his girlfriend.
Thanks, Jessica.
Right there, Jessica. Pound you. She.
Oh,
okay. I'll tell. Now, yeah, you could take that a little wrong.
Yeah, I
Fist
can't.
bump. Fist bump. I got off the phone with a person that her friends had recorded with a friend of theirs named Clayton Sargent. Clayton. Fist bump on that one. I'm not gonna say pound anymore. Got off the phone with him, and for the past month, we've been talking about EP album, what songs. We finally got our songs a couple days ago, and they're not what you think. So get ready.
Surprises.
Yeah.
Big surprise. Awesome.
So when we were talking to different people, the prices that they were throwing out were unreal.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I won't.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Yeah. But you found somebody, so you guys are working on it. Cool.
I mean a hardcore deal. the deal when he said it. I was like, really? Yes. And he's like, well, I don't know if you really want to use me yet, but I mean, think about it. Come to my house and we'll talk about it. We'll get you set up. Here's the order of what we're gonna do it in. How many songs you're doing? Oh, you're doing that many. Okay, well we can do that. Here's the price. And I'm just like,
Very professional about it.
We're gonna do it with you.
That's
like,
awesome.
Oh, cool. Thanks. And so yeah,
So
this was all yesterday.
when do you think, when's it projected to start happening?
Beginning of October.
October 4th.
Awesome, very cool.
Well, no, we're not going to start recording October 4th, are
Well,
we?
I'm going over to his house, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a demo of what it's gonna sound like. So I'm gonna lay down the guitar tracks and the bass tracks to see how it sounds
Cool.
as a demo.
Yeah,
and
October
then-
4th is my sister's wedding, so I can't
Yeah,
make
he
it.
can't make it. So
Aw.
well, when we meet with him, I guess we're gonna figure out the schedule of when we're gonna do it and the time frame of when we're gonna finish. And yeah, that'll be our 5-song EP, not 3 songs.
That's
so there's,
awesome.
There's a
5?
little.
Yeah.
There's a little.
Fun thing about
Fun thing
can I
about
tell them about
Hey.
the 5-3 thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're doing with the EP is going to be really fun. We're going to release 3 songs for free of the 5 songs. But the 2 songs that are going, or no, one of the songs on the EP that won't be released, it's only ever going to be recorded on the EP. So if you ever want it, you have to buy the CD, ever.
Nice.
So that's the why you'd want to buy the EP. Of course, it'll be like autographed and stuff like
Very cool, very cool. Are you guys doing any kind of a Kickstarter or anything for this?
that. I mean, we don't really need one, do we?
Like Kickstarter,
Like the actual Kickstarter program?
Well, yeah.
like a like the website Kickstarter.
The website, yeah.
Yeah, where you like, people put so much towards it and then you offer them an autographed picture and an autographed CD. So what kind of advice do you guys have for bands starting out in the area?
I would say have an idea of where you want to go. We didn't really have an idea at first until we started, and then we had the idea. So before you begin, have an idea of your music style, your genre, how you want to make your concert live, how you want to do it, and kind of know what you want to do in the future. Don't just go out on a limb and say, I want to be a rock star and jump on it, because it doesn't work like that.
Right.
I would say that and network with other bands, you know.
Yeah, that's big.
Find other bands and
Yeah.
then, you know, get together, and there's all
Is-
sorts of advice and stuff.
Is there currently anybody you guys are looking locally to maybe join up with or you'd like to play with?
For me, yeah.
That you'd like to, you know, stylely work on something?
We played with them when we were in Drone, Jesse and I. Obviously, they didn't think anything of us. We didn't. They were kind of. They didn't quite want to talk to us. It was Rasta Miles.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know them.
They're
Yeah.
a reggae band. And
They are.
We're a reggae band, and I know they're kind of locally known, and I'd want to play with them. I never got a chance to listen to them, and apparently I hear good stories about them. So
That's pretty cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with us and letting us learn a little bit about you. We'll see you next time.
okay.